live from Studio 6B. What's tonight? On a Tuesday night. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick Rick's going to be doing some sports. Rick Delgado's got some news. David Zier's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down. Harry on the highway in the building as well. Lots to cover on a busy Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Hope you had a good day, everybody. You follow us on social media at LFS6B. If you're watching us on our live stream, whether it's on Real America's Voice over at Getter or on our YouTube or Facebook, make sure you share and like, share and like, share and like. Share it out so more people get it. Good to have you in on a Tuesday. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I am good. How about yourself?
Very good. How was your day today?
Busy. Busy.
That's good.
Busy in a good way.
A little colder in New York today.
A little windy.
Kind of sick of it. Get it out of here, and I want to stay in that 50-60 range.
I think it's the last blast before
30s.
it starts warming up.
20.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mr. Zier, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
How was your day?
My day was good.
right.
Took a little spill.
Uh-oh.
Rock came loose on a walkway. But I'm here, and...
you look good.
Thank you so much. So much going on today. Busy news cycle, Supreme Court. A lot of stuff going on.
Boy, talk about a 180, huh? What the heck?
Right. Texas can start enforcing the law.
Every damn state, every red state should be damn well doing it. We'll talk about that. I mean, this really paves the way. There's no excuse now.
An important night for MAGA in Ohio. So we'll get into that, right?
We are going to get right into that. We have Tara Dahl that's on the ground. We're going to go to her here in a second. Obviously, you've got primaries today in Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Kansas, Ohio. Ohio is probably the only one that has any juice, I guess, because of this Bernie Moreno race. And there's some other things going on tonight. Ohio and Illinois. I think the Democrats have some state Supreme Court things. So there are other things going on, obviously. But the big race, and it looks like we may get some drama tonight. We haven't really had much this whole primary season. There hasn't been a kind of hold on to your hat kind of race. This looks like it could be shaping up to be a long night, that kind of race. Right now, Bernie Moreno, with about 13% of the votes reported. Bernie Moreno, 59,438 votes. Matt Dolan, the establishment guy, 57,758 votes. Dolan's endorsed by the loser governor out there, which should be automatically a disqualifier for the guy he should automatically be the loser.
Yeah.
Do people in Ohio like the wine?
Who's the governor? DeWine?
He's got DeWine. He's got John Kasich behind him.
Ooh, another loser.
It's like
the loser party.
That's a
Portman
big name.
Also, I'm not sure.
Portman, another one.
Yeah.
He's 0 for 3. Or, as you look at it, 3-0 in the loser club.
Moreno got J.D. Vance, Carrie Lake, Donald Trump.
And yet, here you are. It's basically a tie with 13% reporting.
Moreno pulled within 4 in the last week. He was ahead by 4 in the primary. Before that, it was pretty much a dead heat.
So Tara Dahl's been on the ground. She's out there now. If we have her, friend, let's go out to Westlake, Ohio, to Bernie Moreno headquarters. Tara Dahl is there. We'll see if she agrees with our snap analysis here of the people who are backing Matt Dolan. First of all, Tara, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, gentlemen?
Very good. Good to have you on as always. David Zier's here, Rick Delgado's here, and myself as well. I know you've been on the ground there. So I guess kind of set the stage. Obviously, as I reported right now, looks like we're going to have some drama in this race. We haven't had many through primary season. This one looks like it's going to be. Is this expected?
Yeah, it has been. I mean, this is such a critical race. It is probably the most watched race, the primary race in the nation, because it could flip the power in the Senate come November, January, with the new Senate. So that is why this race is so critical. You have the two-way, it's neck to neck right now. It is. Right now, it's 14%, like you guys were saying. The 14% of the vote is in. It's 38. Bernie Moreno and Matt Dolan has 37%. And it is just a tie race right now. But we are here in Westlake, outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and we are at Moreno's, hopefully will be his victory party. This is really kind of the showdown, as you guys know, between the mega and the establishment GOP. Like you guys were talking about the endorsements, Trump has endorsed businessman Bernie Moreno. He was here on Saturday and campaigned for him. And after Trump was here, Moreno jumped in the polls by 15 points. And so coming into today, he was leading Matt Dolan by 9 points. And so it's going to be a close race to watch. And so we'll see if the results even come in tonight or if it will be contested, but it's definitely going to be close.
So I don't know much about Matt Dolan, but just I don't know if I guess this is a reflection on him, or maybe it's not. But I don't know how you get endorsed by a governor like DeWine, who seemingly is a disaster. Kasich, who's a disaster. Who's the other one you mentioned?
Portman,
disaster as far as MAGA would think of it. So how does Matt Dolan? How is he even hanging in this race with 3 endorsements like that? Are people in Ohio, do they like the governor out there?
Well, that is what we're going to see play out here. And keep in mind that, his family does own the Guardians. Now it used to be the Indians, and now it's the Guardians. And so that's where Trump has really hit them on Saturday. That's kind of hit them on being woke. But, that's kind of where I think you're going to see this play out tonight. And people are rooting for Moreno. We really need to get him into the Senate. J.D. Vance has been campaigning with him all day long. Jim Jordan has endorsed him. Kristi Noem has been here and endorsed him as well. So it's kind of that last battleground where we are hoping to see the mega candidate come through here. It does make a difference. And I think when people see the endorsements of who is getting him by, DeWine and Portman, it kind of goes, you see what side he's on. So I'm not sure if that really helps them, but they've been nasty out here. I have to say this race has gotten very ugly. The Democrats have even been chiming in here. They have their Senate, one of their Senate PACs, which is aligned with Senator Schumer. They have put in $2.7 million into attack ads against Moreno, but hoping that he will be the Republican primary candidate, because they think then that he will be more easily beat come November when they have to face off against Senator Sherrod Brown. So that's kind of what they're hoping. They're playing the games again like they've also done, like we've seen them do in previous elections.
Yeah, some of the exit polling I saw coming out of there, and you look at kind of the demographics of where Bernie's going to have to do well, it's kind of outside the urban areas. But you look at some of the exit poll questioning, and a lot of respondents there, I think about 70%, if I read it correctly, said they want an America First candidate to be their guy, to be their representative there. So again, I don't even know how this race is this close. But anything else about that you've talked to people, or anything else in the exit polling, or where the votes are coming from that we should be looking for here? As we, like you said, about 13% of the vote in. What should we be looking?
Right now he's got. Moreno is coming in. We are in Max Miller's district right now. Max Miller was an aide for President Trump, of course, so he had the endorsement of President Trump. And so we're in a district that should go to Moreno, and that hasn't come in yet. The area around Cleveland, they have not come in. Right now, there's 15% of the votes in, and it's 38% are with Moreno. Matt Dolan has 37.8%. And the other third candidate is Frank LaRose. He's the Secretary of State here, and he's got 23% of the vote. And one thing to keep in mind, too, is that they did pass the election integrity bill. This is the first election that has actually been implemented. So you have to have a voter ID. You had to have a voter ID here when you went to the polls today. And so that is something that Ohio has done, that they're trying to do after the 2020 election. So, but talking to people out at the polls today, they're just fed up with government in general. They just want to see new leadership. Some of the people that we talked to at the places that we went, they just said that they have to remember that they work for the people. Politicians work for the people, and it's just, they're fed up with it. Immigration was, of course, a big concern for people going out to the polls today, and you see it in every single state. And so what happened today with the Supreme Court, that's going to impact all the states.
Hey, Tara, real quick. This is Rick Delgado. I got 2 quick questions for you. First off, you're saying only 13% have reported so far, right? At what point, at what percentage do you think will give you a better indication, or give us a better indication of how Moreno is doing versus Dolan? Like who do you think, at what point do you think, okay, now it's in the bag? Are we going to have to wait for 50 or 60 or 70% of the precincts to be in?
I would say what it's looking like right now, it's literally tied. It just came in. Now we have 17% of the vote in, and it's literally 38 to 38. Okay. So you're looking at least over
night.
probably
Could
70%, and a long night. And it might be contested if it's that close.
Okay. Now, second question. You said something before about, the Democrats put $3 million into going up against Moreno, but on the flip side, they prefer a MAGA candidate to go against. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying it. Are you buying what they're trying to sell us on that? Because if they really wanted a MAGA candidate, they wouldn't attack him at all, right?
They don't want a MAGA candidate. I think they don't want to see like a Matt Dolan, because I think they think that would be a harder race to beat, a harder candidate to beat in Ohio. I think that's why they want to see Moreno. They want to see a MAGA candidate just because of the polling, because it shows that Senator Brown would do better against Moreno, but you don't know what the polls say now.
Right.
And so that's their strategy. They've done it in previous races. They did it in Pennsylvania with Mastriano as well. And so that's just their tactic, and they're playing it here too.
All right.
Tara, Dave, how are you? Great to see you. Sherrod Brown's been in there for a long time. Republicans are still down 5. What's the prospects of beating him? And where do the LaRose votes go after tonight? Do they go to Moreno or to Dolan?
I'd say they go to Moreno. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
I think we lost Tara's.
I'd say
Do we have?
Moreno.
I think we lost her audio there. All right, Tara Dahl out there in Westlake, Ohio. We'll get back to some Tara's got some interviews as well that we'll get to. We'll keep following. Like she said, this might be a long night. 17% reporting. Right now, we got 38.8% to 38.3%. So we are in a dead heat. 79,472 to 78,470. So it's going to be a long night out there in Westlake, Ohio. We'll get back to Tara Dahl here in a little bit. And if Bernie Moreno does pull this out and speaks, we'll try to take that live if it happens within the show. So it looks like it's going to be a close race.
Yeah, it looks like it. And, you never know because, again, it's so early. I mean, 17%, yeah, you kind of get an indication. But once you start seeing some of those stronger Trump districts start coming in, I think that's where you're going to see this start to tip. So hopefully that's what happens, and we get the result we're looking for.
All right, very good. Live from Studio 6B, just getting started here. Let's hit a break. We'll get back. Maybe we'll do a little news. We'll do some sports with Slick. March Madness bracket is out and available if you want to be in the tournament.
Where do I find it?
Free merch is going to the top 3 places. It's on our Twitter. It's on our Getter. It's on our Truth Social. A link to the Live from Studio 6B Odds Makers March Madness bracket. Check that out. Fill out a bracket. Make sure you're a part of it. All right, news and sports all coming up. Live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this. Alrighty. Commercial break. How's everybody doing? Let me get to the chat.
I got the numbers.
Okay.
Democrats are outraising from like 3-1.
You mean in Ohio specifically?
Yeah. Biden's up about 35 Trump so far in fundraising too.
What's up, Tommy Viper, Kathy, Lynette? Hello, everybody in the chat. Allison Johnson, how are you? Where do we find the bracket on Twitter? Not seeing it. It should be right at the top. Is it? Am I dreaming? Go to X.
I thought I saw it there earlier today.
I'll pin it. I post a lot, so it probably got pushed down a little bit. Yeah, it got pushed down a little. I'm gonna pin it right now. Pin. All right, it's at the very top now. Damon, what chat is better, Facebook or YouTube? I don't know. They're both good, John, honestly. We got to go. All right, live from Studio 6B.
Mike was on.
Man, this race is tight as could be. Dolan's now taking the lead. 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We're definitely going to get some drama tonight. 85,506 to 85,121. 400 vote difference. 38.6, 38.5. Bernie Moreno is now in second place against Matt Dolan. And what I said before is that Bernie was going to have to do good outside the urban areas, but when you look, he's getting his clock cleaned in Cleveland. Up in that area, I don't know how to pronounce that, Akron area. I mean, he's losing big in these places, 10, 15 points. Obviously, on the outskirts, he's doing well, obviously, on both coasts. He's doing well down in the Cincinnati area. Dayton has gone pretty much, obviously, all Dolan. Columbus has gone Dolan by 11 points, but in the center of the state, Ashland, and you can just go through them. Wayne, Holmes. I mean, he's obviously just. But it's going to be tight. But right now, Bernie is down by about 400 points, so we'll keep an eye on it. The LaRose guy is out. He's only at 22. He's 30,000 votes down. So this is definitely a two-man race at this point. So. We'll keep an eye on those results. Obviously, there's other things going on tonight. Nothing that really means anything in the presidential Republican primary. Donald Trump is your winner with 72.4%. In Ohio, Nikki Haley, 21.6%.
Special election in McCarthy's seat in California.
Florida, obviously, 80% Trump, 70% in Illinois. Biden, 94% in Illinois. House District 1, Republican primary in Illinois. We've got polls are still open, so that hasn't. We're getting no numbers there. There's some stuff in Kansas, obviously. Where'd you say? Oh, California. Yeah, I got to keep scrolling. The California House District special primary. Anna Cohen against Mike Boudreau, James Cardoza, Ben Duell. Obviously, polls have not closed, so there's no numbers there. So that's basically what's going on tonight. But the Bernie Moreno race is going to be the whole deal. Really no update. Still 400 votes down, 18% reporting. So we got still a long way to go. All right, let's do. There's a lot to get into. There's some headlines on some stories that are really just. We have to talk about, especially if we're talking about the election. I want to get to this report that's out yesterday. When we talk about where the RNC is with election integrity and where they're focused on. You guys see this headline yesterday? Google has interfered with elections 41 times over the last 16 years, according to Brent Bozell and the guys over there at the Media Research Center. Now, every time you hear a Democrat talk about Russia, 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 or anybody that talks about Russia in our elections, Google is doing more damage and more in-kind election benefit to the Democrat Party from inside the country than Russia could ever have dreamed of doing. In 10 lifetimes, Russia could not do to our elections what Google is doing on a literally daily basis. And this report just spells it out, what they did and what they are going to do. Make no mistake about it. They may put a new, fresh face on it. They may change a couple things and say, oh, no. They're going to do the same damn thing this year that they did then. They've interfered with major elections in the United States 41 times over the last 16 years. How did they do that? Well, you know how they did that. In their monopoly that they control, which, of course, is search. And that's how they continue to do it. They impact the surge dramatically, making it harmful to democracy. In every case, Google harmed the candidates, regardless of party, who threatened their left-wing candidates of choice. And, of course, they did it by making sure that when you search for your candidate, you couldn't find not only their campaign websites, couldn't donate. And, of course, they pushed back saying, oh, we have a clear business incentive to keep both sides happy. Please.
I've been covering this for about 8 years, and I had so many examples. And remember the Google whistleblower? I think it was O'Keefe had them.
Yep.
And then the Facebook whistleblowers about changing these algorithms. They did it for Hillary. They did it for Obama. And they did it against Trump in 2020. And all the stuff about the Clintons, their sordid history, is like scrubbed off the internet.
Yeah. Examples also include appearing to favor Barack Obama over John McCain in 2008, favoring Obama over Mitt Romney in 2012, refusing to correct a Google bomb that smeared then-leading GOP candidate for president Rick Santorum, using the algorithm to exclude autofill results that were potentially damaging to Hillary Clinton in 2016, not doing the same for then-candidate Donald Trump, or Bernie Sanders, by the way. He got screwed by his own party, working with partners to help likely pro-Clinton Latino voters go to the polls that same year. So, again, every time you hear a Democrat talk about Russia, outside the country, no, the most damage is being done inside the country by things like this.
Yeah, and the guy that runs Google is where was he born? He was born in Russia. Isn't that weird? How they just kind of maybe it's in the cells. I don't understand. But Kanakoa,
I thought it was an Indian. No. I thought he was from India.
He was a Soviet. Anyhow, Kanakoa has this great. I guess it's what's it called? Substack, where he has this. And reminds us that YouTube is also the second most popular search engine. And who owns them? You guessed it, Google. Let's see it. Here it says, in August of 2019, senior Google engineer Zachary Voorhees leaked 950 pages of internal documents providing evidence of Google's use of blacklists, censorship, and machine learning algorithms to what? Rig the 2020 election. And it's just amazing that they just keep at it. They just keep doing it. And the government's going to sit there and be like, well, we're your partners in trying to make sure we control mis and disinformation. They're your partners in making sure they control the mis and disinformation. That's basically what they're saying. This partial blacklist shows hundreds of conservative websites. There's a link here on the Kanakoa.news website that you can check out, where it's censored by Android News Service results. It's an obvious political bias. For example, Daily Caller, Western Journal, Red State, Gateway Pundit, Stephen Crowder, Michelle Malkin, Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, among other conservative websites, made their blacklist. So again, you talk about the 2020 election being rigged. It's all right there. And what's amazing is they're still doing it. So.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah, they're still doing it. Nobody's stopping him. Then what are we hearing out of the Supreme Court yesterday? Ketanji, stupid, dumb, moron Brown Jackson.
Is that her name?
Will this impair the government's ability to control free speech? Basically, is what she was asking. She wants to know, hey, is this going to be able to, if we go down this road, Is the government still going to be able to control things? Because that's what we like. That's basically what she's saying. This woman is so stupid. Or either she's stupid or this is exactly what she wants. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with both. It's one of those. It's one of those. I'm going to go with C, all of the above. Because she is a moron, but she's told to, this is what you're going to think, this is what you're going to believe, and this is what you're going to rule on. I don't believe she has any autonomy whatsoever. She doesn't know what a woman is.
Yeah, I think it's more. That's exactly what she actually believes, more than she's a moron. I think she, her and her friends on the court there, they want as much government control as possible.
Yeah.
Your interpretation of the First Amendment seems to be restricting the government. Well, yes, that would be the actual definition.
Right. That's why it's there.
Yeah. Last time we all checked the Bill of Rights, that would be like, yeah. All right, let's hit a break. Update from Ohio. Bernie Moreno is now back in the lead, 39.3 to 38.1, 92,659 to 89,901. So last dump of about 2%. We're now at the 19% reporting. Bernie's got about a 2,500 vote lead.
I can't believe we're cheering a Bernie. This is a good Bernie.
Ba-ba-ba. Mm-hmm. Everybody's cheering.
All right, let's see. Trying to find the New York Times primary chart. They're usually the most up to speed. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Ohio's an open primary, too.
Yahoo says hi, David's there.
Oh, on where?
From YouTube.
I'm not in the YouTube chat right now.
No.
By the way, everyone on the RAV website says hello, and they say they love you guys.
Hey, Rav website, thank you.
What's up, guys?
We love you guys too.
Now, Rav website is in commercial right now, right?
Yeah, they're in commercial right now.
Oh, okay.
But I was asked to pass a message.
Damon, did you hear my Slick Rick theme song? No. Where would I find that?
I don't know.
You did? Aaron says she heard it.
Can you play it?
That's Spy Hunter?
Yeah, it sounds like the
Assuming
greatest
this is
cat
it?
in Minute Mouse.
Mr. Slick Rick.
Oh.
Mr. Slick Rick.
Oh, that's so terrible we have to play it.
8 p.m. and the show's begun. Damon is talking, but he
Who made that?
They're on the left-hand side.
Someone in the chat just said, did you hear my song? This is it.
I
Oh,
like
that's
me hear
what
that.
they
Crank it
said?
up.
Okay.
It's snappy. It's got
There's another 2 minutes of it, so we only have 30 seconds.
That's all right. Give me another 15 seconds here. Come on.
Yeah.
Mr. Slick.
Oh, the background singers. Oh,
wow.
Wow.
Mr. Slick Rick.
Wow.
the sax player.
Slick
The grass and everything.
Wow, that's
Oh,
very,
that has to be the opening to sports.
I like the Vegas sound of it.
Wow. That 9 chord right there has to be the
Already ahead of you.
Okay. All right. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Where is Slick Rick to do sports?
The show is evolving,
Oh, man.
and he's not here to enjoy it.
I can't believe what we just heard in the commercial break.
It's in my head now.
Now, someone in the chat said that they're responsible for this.
For the slick red.
You're already singing it.
I know, it's in my head.
So
it's like Illegal Alien by Genesis.
Okay. So somebody has seemingly written and sounded like produced a Slick Rick theme song. And
at least 3 background singers, right?
Had a saxophone player, had some 3-part harmony on his name, from what I could hear. So we'll wait for the Slickster to get here, and then maybe we'll listen to this thing.
You know what's going to happen, though?
What's that?
Invariably.
No, you're not getting one.
It's I'm going to say it's going to go to his head. He's going to be like, where's my song? I need my song.
Well, I mean, water is wet. I mean, who's that going to surprise? I mean, what are you talking about?
It's going to become his ringtone. Every time we see him,
it's going to be my ringtone, too, I think.
He's going to be walking down the hallway, going to the bathroom, singing Slick Rick.
Yeah, it'll be mine for when he calls me, which is really never. But just in case he does, I'll know who it is.
And you won't pick up.
And I won't pick up. It's like when Harry calls. Yeah. Says, danger, danger. So, let's do some news. What have we done so far? We're watching. Well, let's get an update on the race. Okay, well, guess what? Bernie's starting to stretch it out a little bit.
All right.
39.8 to 37.8, 2 percentage points, which represents 5,000 votes, 96,673 to 91,615. So 5,000 vote lead for Bernie now, which is stretched a little bit, 20% reporting. So again, I don't know maybe this is coming from areas, like I said, outside the urban areas that are more favorable to him. But as of right now, he's picking up a little ground. So 39.8 to 37.8 and about 5,000 votes for Bernie.
You know, Damon, the numbers that these guys raise is just extraordinary. Matt Dolan outraised Bernie Moreno 11,400,000 to 9,700,000. But Sherrod Brown, the incumbent, he's been there since 2007, I believe, in Ohio, Democrat, he raised $33 million already. So the Democrats have so much money, it's unbelievable. And the same, Biden's outraised Trump about $35 million.
Well, there's a story there to talk about President Trump as well. Speaking of, and Mark Levin raised this the other day, and I just happened to see it on X. He says, where are all the Republican billionaires stepping up to help Trump put together this he can't put together this outrageous
bond,
which we talked about that this was going to be a problem, bond to even appeal this lawfare in New York. And Levin brought up the point, and I guess when you stop and think about it, you know the Democrats wouldn't have this issue. They'd have George Soros, and and they could pick their list of guys from these big hedge funds that they want to go to. Where are the Republican billionaires? I mean, I know Adelson died. Is he the only one who would have stepped up here? Where is?
So Ken Griffin said the other day that Trump would be good for the economy. So maybe a few of them will come out of the woodwork now. He supported Haley, right?
I don't know, but he's got till Monday.
DeSantis. I forgot who he supported.
I believe he has till Monday before the wretched Attorney General of New York starts thinking about seizing properties. And I'm sure that's all she can dream of is a padlock over there on Trump Tower in New York City.
He's going to go for the 8th Amendment appeal. If that fails, and if the appellate fails, right? We'll go for 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment, right?
Could be.
With this fine.
Now, let me ask you a question.
I've seen Kevin O'Leary out there, and Kevin O'Leary just absolutely makes the case for why it's that and more.
Let me ask you a question. And it's a theory. I don't know if it holds water. I don't know if it's but just hear me out. Just hear me out before you poo-poo all over my platter here. Hear me out. What if this is by design? And here's what I was thinking today. I was driving home, and I'm listening to this story on the news, and they're talking about, he's having trouble raising the bond. He's gone to 30-some-odd companies. They all want this, and they can't seem to put it together for him, blah, blah, blah. What if this is by design in terms of by the Trump side, saying we're not going to get you the bond. We don't want the bond. We want you to seize property. Why? Well, wouldn't they have to now put a value on that property?
Yeah, and Letitia James will wind up liquidating it
But no, wouldn't she have to put a value on it? Isn't that exactly why they sued him? Because of a value that was placed on a property? Can't they turn around and be like, you placed a price on that property, that's the wrong price, you're trying to do this illegally. You know what I mean? In terms of taking their argument and flipping it around now on them.
It could backfire if they were to do that, because the commercial real estate market is down about 56% nationwide.
Right.
So at the time, was in the height of the markets, he's going for these refis. Now with refi rates so high, people aren't refining property, they're defaulting on properties, and the major metropolitan markets are dying in commercial real estate right now. So she might get that $140 million valuation for 40 Wall Street when it was worth $400 million. So then she'll be like, look, I told you so. So maybe they have a plan, to do it.
Well, that's why I'm asking the question, because I don't know.
Yeah.
And I heard some people go, well, he should just sell everything so they can't get it. I'm like, well, that would be a fire sale. Nobody's going to pay the top dollar for that.
I think they're going to make a bull run at Eighth Amendment.
I don't think it would be in President Trump's makeup, ego, makeup, business soul that he holds for either one of those to be even remotely correct.
All right. That's why I said it was a theory. I don't know. I threw it out there. David answered.
Well, if he loses, and if he loses in the appeal, they could seize his assets.
Right.
But she can't pick. I was listening to somebody today on the radio, maybe one of Trump's lawyers, but they were saying that Letitia James has to be really careful, too, on what she does here. So, but, her valuations would be easier to get than when Trump was looking, when Deutsche Bank was all over Trump to refi these properties. It's a different market.
So Interactive Polls
pre-COVID
on Twitter has already called this race for Bernie Moreno, which is which I guess maybe they know where the votes are coming from or what's left. But the race has been called.
That's big news.
New York Times also called it.
Who has?
New York Times.
The Times has called it as well. So obviously they think with the votes that are left, let's keep an eye on Moreno's headquarters. If we see him, we'll take it.
So basically, what they're saying is that the Matt Dolan stuff, all his heavy precincts came in early, which is why it was so tight. And now what's left are the ones that back Moreno.
Moreno's up about 5 points now with 24% of the votes.
Yeah, I got 40.5 to 37.1, but he's up about 9,000 votes now. Opened it up, and it's been called. PJ Media has called it, which is actually taking, I believe, the same thing, Decision Desk.
It's a big win for MAGA.
And Interactive Polls has also now called it. So this race has been called for Bernie Moreno. So just as we thought we might have some drama, we have no drama.
We have no drama.
Well, maybe we had it for 5 minutes.
It could end up being a blowout.
And
with only 25 in, right?
Which, listen, if you get endorsed by the governor, who's been a disaster from COVID on, weak and pathetic, quite frankly, and Kasich, who's basically a Democrat, and Rob Portman, who's basically a Democrat, you should lose in the Republican primary in Ohio.
Yeah.
You should lose, and you should lose big because you surrounded yourself with endorsements from losers, from losers that we're trying to move away from in this party. The days of John Kasich and guys like DeWine, political correctness, nonsense, COVID bowing at the altar, get out of here.
Well, Kasich, what did he pull, like 2% in the last presidential race?
Yeah, like skim milk, exactly. So just get out of here. So you should lose if those are the guys that endorse you, and you did. So that's good. All right, so we'll keep an eye on Bernie Moreno's camp. And we'll see if we see any action there. We'll try to take it live if it happens between now and 10 o'clock. But let's do some news here before we hit the break. And here with the news is Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by 7cells, 7cells.com. 20% off if you use our code at checkout, LFS6B. What's going on, Rick?
Well, this story caught my attention as I was getting ready for the show this evening. But I noticed that there's a cut in here. I believe, David, you may have sent this, the New York City eviction.
Oh, my God.
Do you want to talk about that?
$1 million house
deal?
Yeah, we're talking about property.
The video's long, but we can only play a minute or two. This woman comes home to a house and somebody's living there.
If you don't know the story, it's insanity. Really, New York City property owner.
It's literally what we reported on, what we were joking about with the pizza deal.
Yeah. Recently ended up in handcuffs following a fiery standoff with alleged squatters who she said she's been trying to boot from her family's home. Tense footage shows Adele Andaloro, 47, was nabbed after changing the locks last month on the $1 million home in Flushing, Queens, that she says she inherited from her parents when they passed away. It's enraging, she said. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, have to be going through this. You want to go to the cut there, Dave? Cut number one?
Yeah, let's play a minute or two of that from about 2 minutes in. This woman comes home. There's people living in her house. The New York Landlord-Tenant Court can take up to 2 years to resolve. She inherited this $1 million plus house, and she was arrested going into the house.
Insane.
I don't know if we have that audio.
Guy off the property.
Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks, and that's not fair. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
How you doing?
Minutes later, a locksmith showed up, but police gave her a warning before they left.
I may end up in handcuffs today if this man shows up here and says that I have illegally evicted him. I said to them, let him take me to court the way I've been told to take him to court. But today, I'm not leaving my house.
Less than 10 minutes after police left and the locks were changed. The man who claims to be the one actually leasing the house shows up.
Call the police again.
But the other guy, police took off
Forcing
the
his
property.
way in.
Do you see this?
To a home
This
that's
guy
not
just
his.
literally broke down my door. Broke through myself and my daughter to get in here. This guy just forced himself into my house.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he did.
And so did you.
Ma'am.
You broke through the front door.
Officer.
The man called the police on her.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. We need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue, and by law it has to be handled through the housing court, not with police.
If you own this house, you would not want her inside.
I don't own the house. I don't own this.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how the law works.
I do know how it works.
There's rules to the as you got to go to court and send me to civil court.
He says he signed a lease
There
in
you go.
October.
That's the
but
game
wouldn't
right there.
tell
They
us
know
with
the
who.
law.
I got proof longer than that.
Show us the proof.
But who are you for me to show? I showed it to cops.
Dan with Channel 7 News. If you don't want to show it, you don't want to show it.
Come here, brother. I like that.
I would like to see it.
He didn't show me a lease.
This is a bill.
A bill for work he says he had done to the house. He didn't show police a lease either.
The police department doesn't have the lease?
No.
He's got no documentation.
Just bills.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
I'm being arrested.
For what?
Unbelievable.
For being in
my own home.
And
it's not her
and where's
house.
your lease?
She's fighting the house. It's not her house anymore.
My deed
That's
is
what
current
was told
and
to me.
legal.
Arrested for unlawful eviction. She changed the locks on a man who claims he lives there.
So how does this all end then? When do you leave?
The way it ends is either she pays me my money that I put into the house, pay me the money, and I'll leave, or send me to court, and we deal with the judge in court. It's that simple.
People like this are disgusting.
Or have a pizza delivered by Vinny Meatballs.
Yeah,
Exactly.
David Zia.
Hey, what happened? He went missing. I don't know what happened. Maybe he went to bring the pizza to somebody else's house. Nobody knows.
It's ass backwards.
All right, we'll keep a lookout for Bernie Moreno. Slickster's in the house. We'll do some sports. We'll do news with David Zier, all coming up.
Nice guy, veteran. Did he hear the song yet?
Talking to me?
Sorry, Aaron.
Rick, check your mic cable. I'm not hearing you.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Check 3, 4. Say goodnight.
That's better.
All right.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you, Big D. You know, this thing going down too. It might be my fault too because I keep.
Make sure it's not tight anywhere. If it's tight, it's going to break.
It's not. It's not.
check 1, 2. The great Harry Oates is in the house tonight.
Garbo 63 said 911. Please find Slick. He's lost in his closet.
Oh, yeah,
Can't
she
get
wants
out.
to get my shoes.
Make sure he grabs his boots.
I got a good pair. These shoes match this suit to the T. Yeah, so Ken said hello. We were at a Middle Country Chamber.
Uh-huh.
Drinking cheap junk.
What, the one that used to meet at the Suffolk Diner? Middle Country?
Oh, Middle Country Chamber? Now they were at the Soho in Lake Grove. The Soho?
What the hell is a Soho?
Some hoe. The black girl that owns it, actually. It's funny.
Soho?
Yeah, it's the old like the old Raymore and Flanagan building. Right after Christia. It's on the second level. They put like a catering hall there. Yeah, they did actually.
Why don't I know that? I'm there all the time.
Yeah, it's a catering hall.
Because you don't go inside.
You remember? You got so
by
Hawkins.
Burlington.
You make the right on Hawkins, and you're coming down. So you got those two buildings. They look like 1976.
Oh, there?
Yeah, those buildings. Yes.
My studio used to be in there.
It used to be a second floor. She opened up like a catering hall. It's cute. It's a cute place. Cute space.
That's interesting.
So anyway, Soho of Suffolk. Yeah. Soho.
Exactly.
So we'll do news with David Zier here. Although you only did one story, Delgado.
It's okay.
Stories, I got to plug in.
Yeah, you could take care of those guys.
All right, so we'll go back to Delgado, then we'll go to Zier. So Delgado, leave him like 5 minutes.
All right.
So do 5 and then leave 5. And then if Moreno comes on, I'm going to cut you off so we can go to him.
Can't believe my computer's going to die.
You guys didn't cover that.
No. I read it.
You heard about it?
Live from Studio 6B, 13 to the hour on a Tuesday night. Our race in Ohio did not provide the drama we thought it would. Bernie Moreno has now really opened it up. Obviously, the race has been called, but he's up about 24,000 votes, 20,000 votes or so. 42.1 to 36.2, 25% reporting, but it's obviously been called for him, so he is going to win that. Daniel Horowitz points out that 16 of the blue 22 Rhino legislators in Ohio who voted for the liberal speaker are standing for re-election tonight, and about 12 of them had challengers. I'm only seeing 4 that are behind those MAGA or conservative challengers. It's still early, but Ohio is clearly not Texas. Try and figure out what the missing ingredient is.
Well, Derek Merrin's running in place of Johnson, right? And he just got big endorsements from J.R. Majewski, who was another candidate in the primary. Very important Republican seat. He's running against Craig Rydell. Looks like Merrin will win that.
All right, let's do some more news. We'll do some news with David Zier, but let's go back to Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, more January 6th information starting to come out. New obtained video shows movement of a group suspected of constructing the January 6th gallows hours before the Capitol siege. It's an interesting story because this kind of was out there, and you kind of saw little bits of it, but nobody really focused too much on it. And now it's interesting that it's starting to plow its way forward. The people who erected the infamous gallows and noose on the west front of the Capitol on January 6th actually began their work in the pre-dawn hours of the day, according to newly released videos obtained by CBS News. Kind of interesting that CBS gets these. Cut number 3. You can roll that without any audio. A report by the GOP-led U.S. House of Subcommittee said the perpetrators remain unaccounted for by prosecutors. And isn't that really just suspect? Just a little bit. It happened with the bombers who they can't seem to find. It happened with the guy who fired 2 shots who they couldn't seem to find for 3 years now. And now you've got these people who are literally building a gallows with a noose.
We were all saying there's no way those gallows were built by a MAGA supporter.
Right.
There's no way.
Not only that, how do police not stop people, be like, wait, you need a permit to do, you know what I mean? It's stuff like this where you just throw it all away and say, this is obviously something that was allowed to happen. Surveillance footage shared by CBS shows the brazenness of the work behind the gallows and the noose, which have a history of racist and threatening overtones, as you can see in this cut number 4, where somebody's parading a Confederate flag in the background. Hint, hint, it must be those crazy MAGA supporters.
Nobody
On January 6th, then Vice President Mike Pence was presiding over the joint session of Congress to certify the Electoral College count and had been pressured by former President Donald Trump to unilaterally overturn the 2020 election. Actually, not overturn it. He wanted them to send it back to the states to for the electors. He refused to do so while outside the Capitol. Protesters and rioters around the gallows and noose chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." Again, it's amazing that this kind of stuff, as you can see from the video, they have it on video. They knew people were doing this. There's no way you can walk through the streets in front of the Capitol on January 6th when they're expecting a lot of people to be there and nobody notice a bunch of people showing up with pieces of with plywood and 2x4s and constructing a gallows and a noose.
Total baloney.
Totally.
I love how this is all unraveling, this whole narrative.
It continues to unravel. You can see the video as it shows several people wheeling large wooden beams near the Capitol during the 6 a.m. hour. Excuse me, but would anybody have gone like, you know what, the police probably should have been called? Somebody walking by would have been like, yeah, this doesn't look good. The movement of the pieces occurred early in the morning when the streets were otherwise empty. The shifting of the wooden beams is clearly shown in the recordings collected by some of the hundreds of surveillance cameras near Capitol Hill. So, again, more of this January 6th stuff continues to unfold. Like David said, it's starting to collapse. And you're starting to see more of this just make its way forward. And people are starting to understand, hey, maybe we're being lied to. Maybe the government is lying to us. Maybe the mainstream media really isn't telling us the whole story. And you're starting to see it start to seep out. So there you have it. A little more news for you there, Damon.
All right.
This one about January
Very good.
6th.
We'll do some more with Rick Delgado. Two other things. I'll tell you what else is going on tonight in these elections. Florida is once again continuing to just cement that it is as about a dark red state as possible. GOP has swept Clearwater, Florida. Republican-backed candidates have flipped 2 Clearwater city council seats and won the mayor's race. Republicans have flipped the Delray Beach mayor's seat in Palm Beach County, with Tom Carney handily winning the race as well. So Republicans continue to just whoop up on whatever blue is left in the state of Florida. So, all right, let's do some news with David Zier, the host of Breaking Point, 8 a.m. right here on Real America's Voice. Mr. Zier, what's going on?
Juan Williams, once again, proving to be a jerko. We have picture number 1. What happened to this guy? I don't even remember what it says, but I think it says that his tweet on X. I don't know what you call it. What do you call it on X now when you tweet something?
It's a twit.
It's a
you got
twit.
it right the first
it's
time.
A twit. He said that Trump is going after the attention of uneducated, with no college white men and taking advantage of it. Just what a jerk. I can't read it.
Don't blame Katie Britt. Anyone?
Yeah, right. What is he saying?
Mimicking Trump.
That's the Hill article he's linking to.
Narrowly going to have trouble.
Trump's ugly divisive messages are aimed at an overwhelmingly white, non-college educated base of his supporters.
So basically, like, we're all a bunch of just Neanderthals.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
That's
and
the narrative.
Katie Britt's response in the Republican. Is that what he's referring to? Her response in the State of the Union was just so perfect, we all just didn't get it?
Yes. We're knuckle draggers.
Please.
Yeah, but that's the narrative, even in the primaries. Oh, Nikki Haley's getting all the college-educated people in North Carolina and in New Hampshire, A lot of baloney, but I just wanted to play a quick clip. We only have to play a minute of this if you want. AOC's district is a third world country in Brooklyn, New York. Check this out. This is not the Dominican Republic. This is Brooklyn. Street vendors everywhere. unlicensed illegals, immigrants on the street selling counterfeit goods. You know, in Manhattan, always had that.
I was going to say,
boroughs.
this looks no different than if I came out of the Carnegie Club there on 58th Street. This is pretty much what it looks like.
But it's bad now. I mean, if you go into this video when they turn the corner here, you can't believe the piles and piles and piles of clothing there. And what's going on in the Bronx
This is a little much, though.
These small business owners,
come on, Rick,
these Dominicans in the Bronx are losing their shirt because illegal vendors
I just found them. They're all
are
there.
set
Right
up.
Medium.
These illegal vendors are set up outside these small businesses in the Bronx, and that's why there's going to be a resurgence a little bit to the right, you know, for the Republicans, Donald Trump. There's a lot of Republican young candidates, Dominicans, in the Bronx. People are fed up with it, so it's unbelievable.
The shoplifters special on Sidewalk 3.
Yeah, who's to stop anybody from just running by and grabbing what they
I'm
want?
sure they do.
You see them run into actual stores with doors and people in the way.
Westfield
it's right here.
Properties is trying to get out of their leases in the subway because they're just walking up to the cash register and taking all the money out, and the MTA suing them to stay. I think I spoke about that last night. I mean, the city's just a mess.
And by the way, you know who knows least and cares least about all of this? Is
AOC.
Her.
Yeah.
Is her. She doesn't know or give two.
No, these people are just trying to get bread as far as she's concerned.
Yeah,
Right.
she doesn't have any idea what's going on, nor does she care.
Look at this. This is ridiculous.
She's wearing her Versace outfits now. She's not in tune with what's going on in her district. She has no clue what's going on. Period. All right, quick hour 1, hour 2 coming back. We're keeping an eye on Bernie Moreno's campaign for his victory speech tonight in Ohio. Slick will have some sports. All coming up. Hour 2, live from Studio 6B.
Oh, we're live. We're
Aaron, I could hear you through the walls. That was very funny.
Good stuff.
David!
David, it's B-roll. You got to talk.
Oh, that
was funny.
As he lumbers through.
You rang.
You rang.
That's what you used to say when Damon used to go get the Uber guy. You rang.
Hey, do you want to
No. I don't know.
Chipwich? No? No? Damon, Chipwich not going.
I saw a
Nobody
bottle
wants
of
him.
water.
Nobody wants him.
50 cents.
Did you cover that? Fire.
I did.
You know what it is? Because I saw the
rescued
video.
his parents.
Yeah, I saw the
You
video.
might have been off that night.
I think I saw the video, and that's what kind of.
Well, I didn't have a video of him going in the house and taking.
Well,
he got
no,
the dog too.
No. They didn't have a video of him in the house. They
Oh,
had a
after?
video of him in the
With his
hospital,
buddy?
talking to his daughters about it.
Can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
I got distracted.
Are we on Facebook right now?
Mm-hmm.
Let's check Facebook.
Oh, talk to the people.
Let me see. Facebook.
Hi, people.
Zero was inspecting the food stamps fridge.
What happened?
Paul Nolan's New World Sources said Zier is inspecting the food stamps fridge.
Oh, we got it up
because I walked in front.
Bottle of water in there. That fridge is going to be classic.
So what am I doing there? When we go to him, what are we doing? So I'll cue you. All right, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, Real America's Voice, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some sports here in hour 2. Delgado's got some more news. David Zier as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Harry on the highway in the room as well. People on the YouTube and Facebook chat were saying, guys, you know you're live during the breaks? Yes. Yes, we know we're live.
We look like we have dead in the last
That's
break.
the whole point.
Sorry, I had to get up and inspect the nachos in the fridge. That's why I walked in front.
You get all the behind-the-scenes nonsense on
Are they
Facebook,
fuzzy yet?
Facebook and YouTube. So, yes.
We're going to have a cam with Delgado doing his socks in the bathroom.
We did know we were live. We always know we're live.
Sock cam?
Bathroom socks.
Socky it to me, baby.
Bernie Moreno won the race tonight. We have a live shot of his campaign headquarters there, Aaron. Anything going on there? Harry said they're passing out the signs there. Okay, somebody's looks like they just put the mic or something up there. So it looks like they don't look too fired up down there.
Yeah. No.
They don't look overly excited so far at Bernie's place. I mean, you won, guys. You won the race. So we're expecting Bernie to speak. I would think he'll probably speak in this hour. I can't imagine those people are going to stand there for another hour.
Mm.
So I would think he'll speak, and if he does, we'll take it. So in the meantime, let's get some things done. Let's do some news. We'll do some sports. As I said, since we're going to do sports here in a second, the Live from Studio 6B bracket is out and available. If you want to fill out a bracket and join the tournament, we'll see who picks the best bracket.
Yeah.
We know it's not going to be Slick.
No. Oh, really? Because I had such a lousy year with the NFL.
That could be Slick. We know it won't be me. That's for sure. So, but if you want to try to beat Slick and have bragging rights over Slick, then go to our Twitter or our Getter right now and go to the link to our bracket. And the Odds Makers bracket is up. And it's available, I guess, until Thursday at noon. First game tips Thursday at noon.
Amazing.
And then it's closed down. You won't be able to enter after the first game tips off Thursday at noon. The best day of college basketball starts Thursday at noon. So fill it out before then. All right, now it's time to do some. Well, first of all, Slick, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
How was your event?
Very nice, very nice.
Okay, very good. All right, let's do some sports here, Aaron. We'll do some sports, and that, of course, is with this guy,
Mr. Slick.
Oh, you heard the story? Yabu! Yeah, good stuff.
All right, Slick, what's going on in sports?
Yabu wrote a song about me, not bad, and a story. All right, here we go, Big D. We got NCAA men's basketball. Speaking of what you're talking about, here we go. Men's basketball West Region first four. Wagner edged out Howard. They're moving on. 71-68. That went final just a few minutes ago. We got another game coming up tonight. Colorado State at Virginia. These are for the final two qualifiers to get to, we have a game tomorrow night as well. So we got to get to 68. So we're at 64 right now. Howard just made it at 65. So here we go. We're moving along. Actually, Wagner won that game. Wagner 71-68 over Howard. Check that one. And Colorado State, Virginia coming up. 9-10 tip-off. We'll give you an update on that in a little while. Let's get to the NHL right now. A couple of games going on. We got the Penguins right now trailing the Devils 2-1. Rangers losing to the Jets 3-1 in the Garden. Winnipeg whacking the Rangers. 19 to go there in the third. The Flyers over the Maple Leafs 2-0. 18 to go in the third there. Hurricanes blanking the Islanders in U Bailey Score Arena 3-0. 2:42 to go there in the second. Avalanche and Blues tied at 1. Predators and Sharks also tied at 1. Preds looking to move on into the playoff position. Canadians and Oilers coming up at 9, as there is the Sabres and Canucks, 10 p.m. puck drop. Lightning, Golden Knights, Wild, and Ducks, also 10 p.m. puck drops. Looking forward to that later on tonight. And let's get to a couple of quick stories here. Some sad, actually very sad story in the NHL world. Konstantin Koltsov, former Pittsburgh Penguin and boyfriend of tennis star Arina Sabalenka, dead at 42. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart reporting. Konstantin Koltsov, a former Pittsburgh Penguin and boyfriend of tennis star the great Arina Sabalenka, has died, according to his Russian hockey team. He was 42 years old. He was a strong and cheerful person, said officials. For Salavat Yulov Koltsov Russian squad, he was loved and respected by players, colleagues, and fans. Konstantin Evgenievich was forever wrote himself into history of our club. May he rest in peace. The circumstances of Koltsov's death, as usual, have not been publicly released. Seems to be the norm nowadays, right, guys? The Belarusian native got his start in the NHL in 1999 when he became the 18th overall pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins in the annual draft. This guy was a good player. He worked his way through the ranks and eventually played for Pittsburgh at various points between the 2002 and 2006 season. After his pro hockey days in America, Koltsov played for the Russian squad. Salavat Yulov, I did my best I could with that, and served as an assistant coach for the same team after his playing days were over. So unfortunately, that young man, 42 years old, has passed on. So sad story there. And this kind of falls in the sports scope because this guy used to be an old ESPN guy, but kind of a crazy story. Keith Olbermann suggests hope for Trump's assassination on social media. I'm sure you guys saw this earlier today, this moron. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart, former MSLSD bomb thrower Keith Olbermann is taking heat for posting to social media his apparent hope that Donald Trump would be assassinated. The shrill extreme leftist jumped to his X account on Saturday and replied to a Joe Biden campaign post which featured a video of a segment of a speech Trump recently made in Dayton, Ohio. The Biden-Harris HQ post of the video was captioned, "Trump says he has been treated worse than Abraham Lincoln, who was assassinated." To that, Olbermann responded, "There's always hope." What a moron. There's always hope. The left-wing screedist was immediately blasted by replies to his post calling for the assassination of someone with whom he has a political disagreement. And, of course, they went on to go beat the hell out of the guy, rightfully so. Olbermann's slobbering left-wing social media posts got him in trouble a lot. Last September, he was panned for calling liberal HBO host Bill Maher a scumbag for opposing the Hollywood writers' strike. In August, he made himself look incredibly small by telling championship swimmer Riley Gaines that he sucked at swimming and that she sucked at swimming. Check that. And in February of last year, he demanded that blue states launch an economic civil war against red states. So Keith Olbermann striking it up big day, right? What a moron he is, but wanted to get that story in as well.
Yeah, he's just sick. He's sick in the head. That's what he is.
Something like that, absolutely. And unfortunately, that fell into sports because he's an old holdover from ESPN, once a big-time reporter on the network. So that's a wrap in sports, Big D.
All right, Slick.
Did you see Stephen A. Smith was actually talking like Trump language?
Well, Stephen A. Smith is as much of a moron as he is. He is starting to see the light somewhat.
I think he's a closet conservative, but he
might. It's not even a closet. He has been that way for a long time. He's fallen off the rails here in the last couple years with Biden. But he was a regular on. He's been on. I think he went on with Rush once. He's been on Levin multiple times.
Yeah, really.
He's not even closet. He just has to hide it when he's over there at ESPN.
Oh, sure. He works for Woke Disney over there.
But he's not. It's not even, in my estimation, it's not even closet. He's kind of fallen off the wagon in the last couple of years. Wow. But for a long time, it wasn't even closet. And he's coming back around because even he sees what's going on in New York with these prepaid credit cards to illegals and everything else he's been commenting on. And by the way, I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. I don't think you can underestimate how important it is that Elon Musk is full. I mean, I know he says he's not going to donate money to either candidate, but I don't know if he's going to stick to that. We just may eventually get an endorsement because he may get to the point where he sees the peril that this country is in if this guy somehow was to get reelected. And I don't know, for his sake, his company's sake, Tesla's sake, his constant fights with the government the government keeps ratcheting up against him. I don't see how he continues to sit on the sidelines.
It'd be epic if he put up Trump's bond.
Something like that. Or just a full-out endorsement and a donation. I know he says he won't do it. And maybe he'll stick to that. It wouldn't surprise me if he does. But the more I see him keep retweeting these stories and giving these comments about these issues, the more I think he's getting closer to saying, you know what, the hell with all that.
Right.
I'm picking sides.
He might. Or he might just try and, kind of play both sides of the fence, saying I'm not going to endorse anybody, but you kind of know where his leanings go because of what he posts and what he stands for.
And there were large Haley donors who said they would support Trump, who haven't come out for Trump yet. So,
and did you see about Mark Cuban? Now he's defending Trump.
I did not see
I've not seen that. He seems like he's off the reservation.
Exactly.
When was this?
This headline came out today. Mark Cuban defends Trump after Democratic lawmaker accuses him of being too broke to pay the $464 million judgment. Says here, Cuban defended Donald Trump Tuesday after a Democratic lawmaker accused the former president about lying about his net worth. Representative, you guessed it, Ted Lieu.
Yeah,
another economic illiterate who doesn't even understand wealth or how these guys hold wealth. It's
right.
Well, that's what he points out to him. Lieu used the hashtag Trump is broke in a post on X after the former president's lawyers told a New York court that the former president failed to secure the 9-figure bond sum in the civil fraud case. He posted Trump's claim he's a billionaire. He can't even pay a $464 million judgment. That means he's lying. How do I know? Math, Lieu wrote. Well, Cuban, a billionaire entrepreneur and former Shark Tank host, came to Trump's defense in a lengthy response. He says, Ted, you know I'm no supporter of Trump, that's for damn sure, but you are wrong on this topic. Cuban noted that in a zero-interest rate environment, it would have been dumb for Trump to keep cash in a bank or money market account. Also, dumb was keeping interest rates that long for.
All right, let's go to Ohio. Bernie Moreno's headquarters. We'll get back to this Delgado in a second. Bernie Moreno's taking the stage. Let's go live.
Here it comes.
You can go full, Aaron.
That's not Bernie. No, the girl. I was talking about the girl.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to all of you. Thank you most importantly to this person right here, my wife Bridget. Incredible night. I also want to thank my daughters. Where are they? Coming up here, Emily. And where's Kate? Come on, Kate, come on up. And Adam, I'm bringing the girls up first. All right. And then Kevin, come on up. Everybody. You got it. All right. You know, we had a conversation about a year or so ago, and I said, we're going to run for the United States Senate. It was a hell yes. Are you nuts? What does the Senate do? And she's an artist. She's an artist. And then Kevin was like, why would you do that? That sounds stupid. But here we are. This is, for me, a family venture. This is for my kids and grandkids and your kids and grandkids. This is what it's all about. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Thank you. So I also want to thank, we have an incredible, incredible team that was able to get us across the finish line. I said a year ago the most important thing that I'll do is picking my team. And then the second most important thing I'll do is listening to my team. They pointed out the second one all the time. So I want to just acknowledge Colton, our political director. Great job, Colton. Reagan, our comms director. David DeStefano, our campaign manager. Susan and Abby, who probably called all of you many times. Where's Jane? Jane over there. It came on as an early intern. Thank you, Jane. And then where's Robbie? Robbie. There you go, Robbie. I also want to thank the team over Chris Grant's team and of course, the great Andy Sarabian, who I actually say to you, Andy Sarabian is actually an AI bot that's plugged into Massachusetts somewhere. But Andy, if you're listening, thank you so much for everything. I also want to thank President Trump. I just got off the phone with President Trump. And, you know, the reality is we have an opportunity now. We have an opportunity now to retire the old commie and send them to retirement home and then save this country. Because that's what we're going to do. And I want to thank President Trump for all he did for me, for this campaign, for his unwavering support, for his love of this country. Because I don't think I've ever seen somebody who loves this country the way he does. So thank you to President Trump. I also want to thank our unbelievable senator. J.D. Vance is an incredible senator, but you should know he's an even better person, and he's an amazing, amazing human being. So J.D., thank you. You know, he put his heart and soul into campaigning with me. So J.D., if you're watching, thank you so, so much, and thank your wife and kids. I also want to thank a lot of the leaders in Ohio, political leaders in Ohio. Jim Jordan, who I spoke to also recently, just a great, great man, great fighter, was with me from the beginning. Warren Davidson, of course, Max Miller, and our Attorney General. Thank you so much for your early support as well. Could not have done this without your support. Really, really appreciate it. I also want to congratulate my opponents in this race. You know, one of the things that we do as Republicans is we have spirited debates. Now, maybe it's like a little too spirited. Could have been a little less spirited, all right? But we have spirited debates, and that's okay. That's okay, because as of today, I also spoke to State Senator Matt Dolan. Matt congratulated me very graciously. And I think what we have to do now is, as a fully united party, understand we have one mission, which is to get rid of Sherrod Brown. And by getting rid of Sherrod Brown, we're going to get back to the United States Senate. And then by getting back to the United States Senate, we're going to put this country back on track. Right? I also want to thank Frank LaRose for the service that he gave to our country. You know, as a Green Beret, he sacrifices for our country, and our country's better off as a result of the service that Frank has given to this nation. So thank you to Frank LaRose as well for running a good race. Now, let's talk about Sherrod Brown now. Isn't it great? We got to talk Sherrod Brown now. That's great. All right. Now, and you know, when I was a kid from South America and my family came over. By the way, I completely forgot. My God, I'm a terrible person. Jeez. My siblings, come on, all of you guys come up here. Come up here for a second. Come on up here. And the in-laws can come up too. Come up here. Thank you. Look at that. See, I told you we were high-performing Catholics. Look at all these people. All right, so this is, so 6 boys and a girl. They all live in different parts of the world, but you guys all came here today to be with me. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. What's that? Yep. So when we were first got to South Florida when I was a kid, I was 5 years old. I thought it was a field trip. I didn't know what we were doing. And I wanted to become a U.S. citizen really badly. That was something that was really important to me. Even though I thought it was kind of cool that I had a card that said I was an alien, I thought maybe I wanted to be a citizen. That would be better. And as you may have heard this story, I studied our founders and the Declaration of Independence and the Constitutional Convention. And it's amazing because in 1789, when Sherrod Brown went into D.C., I never thought we'd be here with him still in office. But You know, in all seriousness, though, think about it. This guy's been in office since Richard Nixon was president. This guy's been in elected office, never had a job in the private sector. And what does he do? He says he advocates for working class Americans. So let's dissect that for a second. Under Sherrod Brown's watch, China has gone from a $4 billion trade deficit to a $235 billion a year trade deficit with America. The middle class in this country has shrank under his watch. We've lost factory after factory under his watch. We are now, with his leadership, so-called, of the Senate Banking Committee, we've seen an absolute obliteration of local and small and regional banks. That's all happening under Sherrod Brown's watch. This is a guy who is for unfeathered immigration. He is an open borders radical. What does that do? Who does that hurt? It hurts the very people he pretends to help. These are people who are getting crushed every single day at the grocery store, at the gas station. He's all for this Green New Deal. This idea that all of us should drive an electric car, have whatever stove he tells us to, live in some small hut somewhere, while, of course, he hangs out with his buddies in Martha's Vineyard. That's who Sherrod Brown really is. Exactly, right? So one of the things that came up during this campaign I want to address is this idea that Chuck Schumer put some money in to help me. And if helping me means running really mean and horrible ads about me, but one of the things that people say, well, yeah, but he said that you were tied to Trump. Well, let me just say something. I wear with honor my endorsement of from President Trump. I wear that with a badge of honor. Because under President Trump, this nation was safer, it was more secure, we had prosperity around the world, we had generationally low interest rates, and we had generationally low inflation. Under Joe Biden, everything is objectively worse. Here's what I wonder. I wonder whether Sherrod Brown is going to wear with honor his 99% voting record with Joe Biden. Whether Joe Biden is the kind of person that he likes to associate with, because I would predict this. If Joe Biden enters Ohio, Sherrod Brown's going to fly out of here like a scared cat, right? Because he's going to try to pretend he's not with Sherrod, but he's Sherrod Brown's absolute enabler in the United States Senate. And then who does Sherrod Brown answer to? He doesn't answer to we the people. He answers to Elizabeth Warren. Right? He takes his orders. He's literally her lapdog. She tells him to bark, he says he barks. That's who Sherrod Brown is, and that's who will expose him. Now, here's the good news, and here's the bad news. The good news is we're going to win this race in November. Here's the bad news. The bad news is Sherrod Brown will have all kinds of resources from every corner of America except for Ohio. Because his support in Ohio will be minuscule, but he'll have big tech, he'll have Hollywood, he'll have Wall Street, he'll have special interest groups, union bosses, not the union members. The union members are going to vote for me because they know I'm going to be the one that looks out for them and make sure that we have jobs here in Ohio, but the union bosses will be behind him. And of course, the entirety of the media will be behind him. Right? In fact, I think maybe we should send a couple boxes of tissues to the Cleveland Plain Dealer tonight. What do you think? What do you think? Right? But they're going to twist everything I say. You know, if I said tonight our victory was a bloodbath, oh my gosh, what they would say. But you would never say something like that because there would be a scenario in which they would twist something like that. I know you guys can't imagine that. It's true. All right. So what I'm hoping we get, and I hope we get, is at least fair treatment, although maybe that's a little too much to ask for. But look, here's a message. Here's a message I want to leave all of you with. It's March of 2024. Things seem dire in our country today. They're probably going to get a little worse over the next 7 months because you have an administration that is completely controlled by the radicals in their party. There was a time I remember when there were rational Democrats, people who you could work with. Those people may still exist, but they're controlled by the absolute extremists in their party. So for the next 7 months, you're going to see Joe Biden try to recapture that extreme position in order to keep his base. So who knows what they'll do, but it's going to be a tough next 7 months. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I believe this as much as I say I'm standing in front of you right now. We're going to win this race in November. We're going to retake the United States Senate. We're going to have President Trump in the White House. We're going to get the America First agenda done. What does that mean? Let me give you 5 things we're going to do. Number 1, we're going to have a safe and secure border where people only come into this country legally. We're never going to ask another country for energy because we're going to be an energy-dominant nation. We're going to do massive reform of our 3-letter agencies to make certain that they understand spying on Americans is unacceptable. We're going to restore, General, we're going to restore law and order in this country, aren't we? Absolutely, right? And then for you parents out there that are sending your kids to school and you're sick and tired of these schools indoctrinating your kids, by the end of next year, the Department of Education is gone. And by July 4th of 2026, we're going to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the greatest nation on the face of the earth. And when we have that celebration, we're going to talk about how freedom and liberty's back, government's off our back, and I'm going to end where I started. What is this party all about? People say, I've lived the American dream. Started a tiny little car dealership with nothing. Say, that's not really, in my mind, what I view as the American dream. Where's my father-in-law? I'm going to pick on him again today. Where is he? Dennis, where are you? You're tall. There's my father-in-law right over there, Bridget's dad. All right? Dennis went to high school in Hobart, Indiana. He was born in Gary, Indiana. Graduated from high school, reported to work at U.S. Steel. By the way, did you notice the name of the company? U.S. Steel? Because it's going to stay U.S. owned. All right? Goes to work there, was able to buy a home, buy a car, raise 3 kids, send them to good schools and safe communities. And he's able now to retire debt-free. That's the American dream. That's what's under assault, and that's what we're going to get back. And by July 4th of 2026, that's going to be the norm, because what we're fighting for is the future of this nation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being such incredible supporters of my campaign. Thank you to Ohio Valley voters, too, by the way, for your early endorsement. John and Diana Stover. Are you guys ready to beat Sherrod Brown? Let's go!
All right. Oh. Wave the checkered flag, Bernie.
Where's Joe?
Wave the checkered flag. Okay. Bernie Moreno. Well.
Nice.
Okay. I wouldn't put that in the Katie Britt category, but I don't know. I've heard more energetic speeches than,
did okay.
than that, but he was fine. Maybe he was a little nervous or something. Bernie Moreno's victory speech out there in Ohio. And I think it's going to be that's a tough race. That's a tough race, and Bernie's going to have to get his messaging together and probably do more than just point out President Trump's stuff.
Sherrod Brown has 3 times the money at this point.
Wow,
the Democrat.
So, all right, we'll go back to Tara Dahl, see what she thought of that here in a second. We'll let that. I heard you, Harry. You don't have to yell in my ears. I said we'll go to her when she's ready. God.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So, all right, let's do some news, though, in the meantime. And here with that is Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, here's a story that's just kind of breaking this evening as Mexico. Check this out. Now, check out the cojones on Mexico. As it says, it won't accept immigrants sent back under Texas' new immigration law. The divided Supreme Court on Tuesday, of course, allowing Texas to begin enforcing a law that gives police broad powers to arrest migrants suspected of crossing the border illegally, which would be all of them. While a legal battle over the measure plays out, the conservative majority's order rejects an emergency application from the Biden administration, which says the law is a clear violation of federal authority, blah, blah, blah. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, though, praised the order and the law, which allows any police officer in Texas to arrest migrants for illegal entry and authorizes the judges to order them to leave the U.S. The High Court didn't address whether the law is constitutional. It just cleared the way to let them do it. But Mexico's government has now piped up and said Tuesday that it would not, under any circumstances, accept the return of any migrants to its territory from the state of Texas. Mexico is not required to accept deportations of anyone except Mexican citizens. To this, I say, just dump them over the border and screw it. It's condemned the Texas law being allowed to take effect, saying it would criminalize migrants. Well, duh. They crossed the border illegally, they're criminals, and lead to the separation of families. Well, you can dump the families over together and keep them all together. Discrimination and racial profiling. The government said it would be put in its position before the appeals courts next considering the law. Mexico rejects any measure that allows a state or local authorities to handle immigration control, detain or return nationals or foreigners to Mexican territory, blah, blah, blah.
All right, we'll do some more news with Rick Delgado here in a second. Let's go back out to Westlake, Ohio, Bernie Moreno's headquarters. Our own Tara Dahl is there, and I think she has a guest with her. Tara, take it away.
It is a great night, a huge victory here in Westlake, Ohio. The room is celebrating still, but it's a huge win for MAGA. Tonight was really it was that stand down between the MAGA candidate and the establishment GOP. So to see Bernie Moreno win tonight was a huge win for the MAGA party, and it shows that the Republican Party is no longer the party of the establishment, that it is the party of MAGA, and it's a new way forward. So it's a huge victory. But we're here with Gary. Gary is in Westlake, and he is also a RAV supporter. So Gary, what do you think of tonight's win?
Oh, this is the best win we ever had. This is excellent for the MAGA community and for RAV. And I just want to say how much Real America's Voice is for us, okay? I mean, they are the real news media for us. They fight for us. They tell us the truth about what's going on with our country. I mean, I don't even watch any other channels anymore with Fox because they've let us down. But every show that Real America's Voice has on, I mean, the truth is there. They give you the facts. Ben with the border investigations and reporting, it's beyond exceptional. I mean, you just see what's happening to our country, and although it doesn't look good, it's a lot of bad news, Real America's Voice gives us a lot of hope. So, I mean, it's good.
Yeah. No, it's a huge win. You can feel the excitement. So it's a great night for America.
Right.
Tara.
Yes.
Great.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
All right, Gary, there you go. Tara must have slipped him a $100 bill or something before he came to the mic, because Gary's pretty fired up for RAV there.
He came up to me, and he's a huge RAV supporter, and he loves Real America's Voice, and that is the second person that has come up to me and just has gone off about saying like they used to watch Fox, they used to watch other news networks, and now they don't. They love Real America's Voice.
So, Tara, let me ask you a serious question. I don't know what you thought of Bernie Moreno's speech there, but it's going to be it seems to me, especially when you look at the Democrats' pitch to voters this year, which is basically, vote for me, I will continue to give you free stuff at the cost of your purchasing power of the dollar, inflation, we don't really care. We'll blame the Fed for all of that. Vote for me, I give you free stuff. And that's going to be Sherrod Brown pitches, too. And into those urban areas, it seems like it would be a very uphill climb for Bernie Moreno to defeat Sherrod Brown. When you talk to people there, and give me your opinion as well, what is the road for Bernie Moreno to take out Sherrod Brown in this race?
Well, I think you can look at Ohio, and I mean, they're Republican. Their House is Republican. Their state Senate is Republican. The Supreme Court is Republican. And that's another one to watch come November. The Democrat primary today for the Supreme Court, there's an open seat. So the Democrats are trying to switch the Supreme Court here in Ohio to Democrat. So that's a big election to be watching come November. But Ohio's red, and it voted for Trump in 2016. It voted for Trump in 2020. Went for Obama under his 2 terms. But it should stay red. It's been moving red. And when you talk to people here, their big concern is that it's the economy, it's immigration, it's what impacts all Americans. What we've been seeing in the exit polling, it's here in Ohio as well. So I think he has a really good chance of beating Sherrod Brown come November.
Tara, Dave Zier here. You know, Ohio used to be a battleground state, not so much anymore, and Biden was one of the first people to lose Ohio and win the presidency, or supposedly win the presidency. I wanted to ask you, is anybody talking about Derek Merrin's race in the 9th, who's going to beat Craig Radell? He's ahead by 10 points in the 9th district. That's another MAGA win tonight. Trump endorsed him last minute.
That's it. Absolutely. He came out the day before and endorsed him right before the polls opened, even this morning. And that before the polls opened, he endorsed him. And so he looks like he's winning. He's going to win tonight as well. So that's another America First congressional, the district in District 2 in Ohio. That's also America First candidate David Taylor there, too. So you're seeing these America First candidates win, which is a big sign for November. And it is that red wave. And it's just really awesome to see the momentum and to be here with so many just like-minded patriots and talking to people on the ground. I have a lot of optimism for our country and going forward, even when Gary was saying things look so bad. But you talk to people and they're optimistic, and they're here tonight, they're showing up, and you're seeing the tide turn. So I think we're going to see a change. This is a big night for no more of the establishment party taking control of our party anymore. It's changed, and I think tonight was kind of that final nail on the head.
All right, great stuff, Tara. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being out there. Good win for Bernie Moreno. I wish I shared your optimism there, but I guess we'll see what happens. I see Ohio as a state full of rhinos, quite frankly, and I'm hoping the turnover that you're saying is happening because we certainly need it there. So, but great reporting, Tara Dahl out there in Westlake, Ohio, at Bernie Moreno's headquarters. Tara, thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Tara.
All right, you too, Tara Dahl out there, and I don't know. I just see a state full of rhinos in Ohio, and I don't see any Freedom Caucus members getting elected even tonight. You look at Congressional District 6, Congressional District 9. It's just mainstream leadership kind of guys getting elected again. I see no Freedom Caucus members being added to anything going on in Ohio. And that's why I think it's a much tougher road. For me, it's going to be a tough road for him to win, but we'll see. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, hopefully it's it'll be another nail on the head, and it'll keep it moving forward.
All right, let's get back to the news with Rick Delgado, and we'll do some news with David Zier here in a second. What else is going on?
All right. I don't know if you caught this story, but Donald Trump is filing a defamation lawsuit against ABC and George Stephanopoulos over the GOP Representative Nancy Mace's interview that she did over the weekend with him. Did you catch that?
No.
All right. Well, former President Donald Trump filed a defamation suit over the host questioning of the South Carolina
against ABC.
Filed it in New York?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me see if they have.
Well, because if you did, it's just going to go nowhere.
Right. So anyhow, I filed the defamation suit against ABC News and George Stephanopoulos over the host questioning of the South Carolina Republican, whom he pressed about endorsing Trump while being a rape survivor. Trump's lawsuit, filed yesterday, takes issue with how Stephanopoulos, during his March 10th interview with Mace on This Week, said a dozen times that Trump has been found liable for rape, according to the transcript. A jury found that Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation in the lawsuit against him, but they did not find him responsible for rape. You endorse Trump, blah, 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 he says. Mace accused Stephanopoulos of trying to shame her as a rape victim. Trump's lawsuit states that Stephanopoulos' false and defamatory and misleading statements about plaintiff immediately spread like wildfire as numerous third parties and media outlets repeated and reposted them to countless viewers. The lawsuit asks for an unspecified amount in damages from ABC and Stephanopoulos in addition to punitive damages, which are intended to punish a defendant. And I say, yay, go for it. Tie them up in court. Do what they do to you. Play by their rules, see how they like it, tie them up with lawfare. I don't care. They deserve it. That's how I feel. What say you?
He should take Stephanopoulos to the cleaners.
Yeah. Anything?
Why not?
No?
No, it's not. Come on. It's not going anywhere in New York. What are you kidding me?
Well, how do you feel about the tactic, though? I'm talking more about the tactic.
Well, the tactic is fine. But it's an effort in futility in New York. It's not going to. Little Georgie's going to. Come on. What are we talking about?
Talking about little Georgie. Hey, did you see General Mark Milley today? He was up on Capitol Hill as two former top generals in charge of the 2021 military withdrawal from Afghanistan that left 13 service members dead, said the orders to evacuate from Biden came too late to avoid disaster.
Devastating, if you ask me. It's getting totally underreported as far as I can tell. I haven't listened to a lot of talk radio or seen what's going on, but leading into tonight's show, it's my lead story that I still haven't gotten to, by the way, because we've doing all this other stuff.
All right.
But this hearing today, every American should watch.
Yeah. Former chairman of Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, and former commander of the U.S. Central Command, Kenneth McKenzie, revealed critical details about the Biden administration's decision-making process behind withdrawal, including that the president ignored their warnings. How many times have we heard this? The now-retired military leaders gave a scathing assessment of the deadly withdrawal, which has been labeled a failure by some Democrats and nearly all Republicans. In his opening remarks before the House, Milley told lawmakers that the withdrawal is personal to me and gave his condolences to the Gold Star families in attendance. He said, along with McKenzie, to put the State Department at the center of the breakdown in communication that resulted in the tragic death of 13 troops and the abandonment of hundreds of Americans and key Afghan partners as the Taliban took over. It is my assessment that decision came too late, said Milley, referring to, of course, the withdrawal. McKenzie agreed, saying he too believes the events on August of 2021 were the result of delayed decisions that were the responsibility of the State Department. It remains my opinion, they say, that if there's culpability in this attack, it lies with the policy decisions that created the environment.
When you read the story, I happened to read the one in the New York Post today about this, and you think about what's going on in Israel, in the Biden administration, and the moves they're making there to undermine Israel at every turn, is even a more stark warning of the dangers that these two, Blinken and Biden, pose around the world as decision makers at a time of crisis like we're in all over the place. When you read this report about what went on at the State Department and what went on with the president, and not listening to and making horrendous decisions to do this when he was warned over and over and over again, this is not going to be good. This is not going to last. This is going to collapse. You have to leave some men there. Well, and what we got is what we got.
Yeah, the conversations between the Biden administrations and generals on when and how to evacuate were ongoing for months before the August withdrawals. Milley said that if he could make the decision again, he would have begun the evacuation over a month before the withdrawal was ordered. I would have brought the embassy and the State Department out with the military by the middle of July, he said. If there was a do-over, that would be it. He even admitted he did not know how many Americans were left behind at the time of the withdrawal. And he said, I'll be candid, I don't know the exact number of Americans that we left behind because the starting number was never clear. So just a miserable admission. When you think about these guys were in charge the whole time, at the time they were claiming this went great. It was such a great effort that they put together in doing this. Now the truth is coming out.
You can not like John McCain for a lot of things, but John McCain's speech on the House floor when Anthony Blinken came up the first time back in whatever it was, early 2000s, and he said he's the most dangerous man that could ever be in that position, he was absolutely right. Right now, it's 82 counties to 6.
Wow. That's a shellacking.
With 55% reporting. He may lose all 88. He's not beating Sherrod Brown. I don't think so.
It's probably the closest they'll get to it.
And I think
if they don't
I think their read on Ohio is way off. I don't know what Ohio these people are looking at. Ohio's got more rhinos than...
More rhinos, but it has gotten redder. The population at large has gotten redder. That's why it's not a battleground state
You see
anymore.
this girl from Long Island that was arrested, Isabella DeLuca, for J6? Yeah. Did you see the video of what she did? I mean, I don't know. There's not... She's passing a desk through a window.
Yeah.
From inside the Capitol to the outside of the Capitol. And she's like wondering why she got arrested. She's literally standing in a broken window, handing a desk out the window.
I know.
Now, I mean, again.
She's from Setauket.
Is she? Oh, those crazy people. What about Mahone?
She passed the table out the window, and I think it was used against law enforcement.
Yeah.
I saw that the guy from Red State said, in any reasonable world, in a vacuum, a short stint in jail for what she did is probably appropriate. But he says we don't live in a vacuum.
Well, look at all the people.
We live in a world where left-wing rioters are mostly not even arrested. So that's more of the truth of it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
crazy.
Of all the things I've seen, this one was kind of like, that's pretty wild.
She was an intern with Zeldin.
Oh, was she?
But she wasn't paid. She was just.
Isn't she? I think she's a thing for TPUSA too.
Yeah, I think so. I confuse her with Isabel Brown. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think Isabella Brown's the TPUSA girl.
I think they both are.
Maybe.
I like the Isabel Brown girl.
Yeah.
She's good. Her videos are good.
Yeah, I interviewed her about 3 years ago while she was like really gaining popularity, and she was pretty sharp back then in Palm Beach.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Well, a night that we started saying, man, we may have some drama, has quickly gone. Bernie Moreno may win 88 counties here. Right now, it's 82 to 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 6 still in the yellow for Dolan. I don't know. He may not hang on to any of them. So pretty good.
Who thought this was going to be close?
Whooping. Well, yeah, it started out that way. We thought it was close. A lot of the chatter was that this was going to be close.
Went to 5 points in Emerson yesterday and 9 points today, but I don't know what poll that was. So looks like he'll win by 12 or so, right?
He's up by 16 right now, 16 percentage points. So
with like 60% in?
With 59% in, yep.
Wow. It's big.
All right, let's do some news, then we'll do some sports to wrap it up. We'll start with news, and here with that is the host of Breaking Point, Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. right here on Real America's Voice, David Zier. Mr. Zier, what's going on in your world?
Hey, I just got a couple of quick things for you guys and for the audience. Thank you for watching, everybody. Shout out to my friend Larry and his girlfriend Jane. I just wanted to bring up this story. You know, we're always talking about how they come up with the jobs numbers and they've revised them backwards, especially
the voodoo board is
2022. There was a lot of BS flying, right? California quietly revises the fiscal year 2023 job growth down from 325,000 jobs to just 50,000.
Well, that's pretty close.
And the high-paying tech and professional markets hit the hardest. I thought that was an interesting story. So
300 and something thousand to 50,000.
Yeah.
Only 75. Only
missed it by that.
Just a bit outside.
Just a touch.
And then an Obama-appointed judge ruled in the Gateway Pundit today that illegal immigrants can carry guns in the U.S.
Start packing, baby.
Roberto Caraval Flores had a gun, I think, during the George Floyd riots in Chicago, was trying to protect himself, and the judge said he's never been charged before, and he was a good person, and all this stuff. But, like, if I was caught with that, I'd be doing hard time.
Well, they want the invaders armed, right? Isn't this probably by design?
The whole thing is inexplicable and crazy. And I just had a couple of quick clips for you. Joe Biden was spotted on the street sniffing young women. That was cut number 7.
You want to expand on
Colombia.
that?
You know the thing. Look, hey. Do your speech.
Oh, Lord. Follow me on Instagram, Kelly Rose. Go to Track NYC if you want to see me in person.
Hair smells good. You don't vote for me, you ain't black.
That's
Come on,
Jason
man.
Scoop. Yeah, he's a riot. And Pittsburgh is closing their 911 service.
Does he do any other impressions other than Biden?
He does a great Trump.
He's worse than us.
And he does Biden. Yeah, he does a great Trump. He's just as good, or if not better, as Sean Farish. They're both very good at it. But cut number 6, just for maybe we could just play a minute of this. The Pittsburgh, city of Pittsburgh is closing. The police won't respond if it's not a violent crime. Check this out.
Showing up to the Zone 3 police station in Allentown before 4:30 this afternoon. Out of luck. Several people tell Channel 11 no one was there to take their complaints, and in one case, a protection from abuse order. 11 Investigates has widely reported on staffing issues at the department, leading to changes. Channel 11's Rich Pierce is outside of Zone 3 police station after finding out how this happened.
Zone 3 here already operates on limited hours. It's actually closed from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., but today it was even longer, and police tell us that could happen anytime.
If there's no one ever there, then how are you ever supposed to get any help?
This was the sign that greeted anyone coming to Zone 3 before 4:30 p.m. today. It says, quote, "This station is currently closed. Use the blue box to dial 911.
I was pretty upset because whenever you have something that you're reporting, a lot of times that it's a time-sensitive thing.
We spoke to one woman on the phone who did not want to be identified. She told us she tried filing a theft complaint this afternoon, but couldn't.
Do you think there's an expectation that somebody is there to speak to?
Sources also.
Yeah, I think 911 means it's an emergency. Right?
Yeah, so if somebody breaks into your house, they're not coming. So I'll yield the rest of my time to Slick Rick, and that's all I have for you today.
All right, very good. David Zier, thank you very much. Let's do some sports, and we'll do that with
Mr. Slick Rick.
All right, sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and My Pillow. I'll get used to that.
I'm ready to go to Sears Roebuck and Company and buy one of those Hammond organs, baby.
Use our code LFS6B at checkout if you shop at My Pillow. It'll save you up to 60% off all the great stuff from Mike Lindell. Plus, you can get the shirt of the month absolutely free by sending your My Pillow receipts to LFS6B@yahoo.com. You know the deal with that. Plus, your March Madness brackets are available. We've only got, I checked on it before.
We got to get
some more people. We only got 25 or so brackets. Maybe we're up to 30 now.
Tell the nice people how they can actually access the bracket.
Well, yes, I did, Slick. They go to Twitter, and it's pinned at the top of the page, and you click on it with your mouse.
Okay, and then they had a hard time finding those calendars you were selling earlier in the year, but all right.
That was a mistake. Aaron, stop
the marketing
laughing.
team. That was the mistake.
All right, let's do sports with Slick.
2 weeks, pull the plug. Yeah, okay. Let's go, Big D. Okay, here we go. Colorado State and Virginia playing the first 4 Midwest region, trying to get into that March Madness 68 Big D. Right now, Colorado State leading Virginia 18-14. A lot of time to go there, Rick. 6:58 in the first half remaining. So we'll have an update tomorrow night. We got 2 more games. Grambling versus Montana State. That's 6:40 tomorrow night. And then Colorado taking on Boise State. And that's at 9:10. And then we'll have everything wrapped up. And you can pick your brackets.
42 we got now.
42. Not bad. Okay.
42. Yeah. We need to get to like 100 at least.
Right.
We need to get to like 500 before Thursday.
Can you do multiple brackets? I think you can do multiple brackets.
I mean, as long as you have multiple emails, yeah.
Right.
But one per email.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
42. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. Come on. We got
500 by Thursday at noon.
That'll be a lot of fun. That Thursday at noon. That's the first tip-off, right? We don't know.
I mean, I'm giving free merch away here to the top 3. Maybe we'll expand it to the top 5 if we get 500.
Wow, maybe we'll give them a little autograph something.
If we only get up to 100, then it's only going to be the top number 1.
Come on, guys. Let's
we
go.
Get the 200, it'll be the top 2. How's that sound?
If you don't know the game, just pick your favorite states. Hey, I like this team. I like that. They're located
just
here.
Just pick UConn. You'll be all set.
No, UConn is not winning this
Dude,
thing.
you know, in a couple of brackets I picked already,
Biden winning.
I don't have UConn winning.
No.
I've got Iowa State and I've got Auburn winning a couple of my brackets.
Okay.
I don't know why. I like Houston this year. I really like Houston.
Well, this is why we're doing it.
I like Houston.
So someone's going to have
Houston
bragging
is soft.
rights.
Take me to the summit, baby.
Houston is soft.
No,
David Zier, are you going to do a bracket?
I don't know what that is.
I didn't say racket. I'm not paying anybody off. We're saying brackets.
Back to sports with Slick.
All right. Well, here we go. Chief star Travis Kelce in talks to host game show reboot. There we go. Kelce might become the new face of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Delgado, you'll have an issue if you were watching that show. Scott Thompson of Fox Sports. Travis Kelce's rising celebrity might land him on the reboot of a popular game show.
That wasn't funny.
They can't. Yeah, she found it funny, and probably 3/4 of the audience that's actually listening to the show. The Kansas City Chiefs star tight end is in talks with those involved with the reboot of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader to be the game show's host. Variety reported Tuesday. The show would reportedly stream on Amazon Prime Video, which they pay pretty good money. Kelce is no stranger to hosting.
Better than here, right?
What's that?
Better than here.
Yeah, well, we're talking pay. All right, here we go. On Saturday Night Live this past season, he also had the reality TV show Catching Kelce while just like, well, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Of one of the hosts' popular podcasts out New Heights. Anyway, we know Travis, who he's dating. Come on. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? We'll see what happens. Anyway.
No.
Time is winding down. Big D's got to depress everybody on the way out. So, Big D, take it away. Talk about a reboot.
Let's hear a little more of that song on the way out, friend.
That's a reboot.
Since it's the last time we're going to see Slick Rick on this show.
Tonight, anyway.
As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders.
Is
that you singing?
It sounds like Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse.
Yes, it does.
Good job to everybody on the show. Aaron Fran, great job as always. Most of all, we thank you live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night. Listen up.
I'm off a shade.
I told you, went to his head.
Oh, the man in the threads makes me cold.
Man in the threads makes me pause. What's his name? Mr. Slick Rick. Mr. Slick Rick. Mr. Slick Rick. Mr. Slick Rick.
Oh, you can look away when the scores of today reads with a touch of style. The football, the baseball,